right, love. So it's Anima back here with another moment of enlightenment. I think I'm finally ready to tell you guys about what I learned over in Thailand, what that trip was all about. So I think initially what it started out for me was just me knowing that I was able. I think that was initially the goal of the trip. While I might have known in my head that I could go to Thailand, that all the things were in place for me to do it, I don't think that I really believed in my heart that it was something that I could do on my own. So I feel like initially the thing with Thailand when it was coming up for me to go was just to prove to myself that I could. And even though I knew I could, I didn't know that I could until I actually done it. That being said, the things that were holding me back from thinking that I could was just fear, a lot of fear-based things. For instance, just traveling alone, halfway across the world, not knowing for sure about phone service, not knowing if I would find anybody that speaks English, even though I know that sounds crazy, but that was a thought. Even getting kidnapped, and taken off into the slave trade. I feel like don't nobody want this old thing, but they say that they take all kinds. So it was all these things popping up for me. Another thing was just flying on a plane for 30 hours because I am not someone who likes to fly. Okay, that is not my thing. I usually try to keep it to a minimum of 3 to 4 hours if I fly anywhere. So this was a 30-hour trip halfway across the world for the first time by myself. So while I was saying I could, I think deep down inside, I was thinking I couldn't. So initially, I feel like that was the point of the trip. And let me tell you, I went back and forth with myself about it several times. And every time I would ask, tap in, and pray, ask Spirit about it, I would get you going. Up until the last minute when I actually paid for the damn thing, it was still coming through, should I do this? To the point that I didn't even think that the payment went through. And so I was like, okay, well then that was God giving me a sign. To wake up the very next day to see that everything was in place and all the money had been aligned and I was in fact going to Thailand. So when it became, a fact rather than a fantasy that I was going, I think that this whole trip turned into a thing about me stepping out on faith. This was about me knowing that I don't need anybody. And not to say that you don't need people. God put us here for each other. But I don't need anyone but Him. Like He is the Almighty. He is the protector. Whatever is going to happen is going to happen under His watch. And so knowing that, I have to understand that whatever happens, even if I was to get kidnapped and sold into the slave trade, or if the plane was to go down, over the Atlantic Ocean, that it was for my greater good. I really had to step into that and just know that no matter what was going to happen, it was supposed to happen and it was for my greater good. And so that was a kind of a big pill to swallow, because even though I talked to all of y'all about surrender, I obviously have my issues with surrender. So I want to, get like ancient wisdom and tap into, the different greatness that is out there, not just with Jesus and God, but, I was looking into Buddhism and all that entailed, just with the meditations and stuff. So that became one of my things, is that I'm going here to pray and meditate with Buddha and God. I wanted to go to the temples. I wanted to feel the feelings and, just sit in that, just see what that was for me. First, morning that I'm there, I'm able to get up, and in my meditations and stuff and my prayers, I do see Buddha there. Jesus is there, Buddha is there. I'm sitting there, I'm having prayers, and so I'm all excited, and I think it was maybe day 4 or 5 that we actually went to the temple. So I'm all waiting, every day praying, meditating, building up to go to the temple, and then I think the night before is when it came to me that I wasn't going to go to the temple with my sisters. Like, I would not be going to the temple with the people that I had came up there with. So I'm just sitting here like, now how the hell does this play in anything? I done came halfway across the world just so I could sit in the temple and now I'm being told that I'm not going. And so when I actually go to the temple, because we do get up the next day and we go, so then I'm even more confused as to what the message is. I get there and I don't have the feeling that I've come for. I don't have the aha moment. I don't have the spiritual, awakening and enlightening. And I'm just sitting here a little bit dazed and confused. And then it hit me that I I had already come to the temple. I had already prayed with Buddha and Jesus and meditated with them. It was in my first days. The temple is in my heart. I didn't have to go halfway across the world to pray and meditate with Buddha. The reason why my sisters wouldn't be there with me is because I had already done it and it had taken place in my heart. And I mean, when that came to me, it was a lot. It was a lot. But I think it was just what I needed to understand this. And what I would, encourage you guys to as well is to know that you don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to go anywhere to get ancient wisdom or knowledge, or to pray and meditate, to be one with Yeshua, to be one with Buddha. Like, it's all right here. It all takes place right here. So while I didn't have to go there to see Buddha, I did still have to go there for my own self, for my own knowledge. So that is the biggest takeaway from my trip to Thailand, that I can do it, that it's all about stepping out on faith and believing in my Father, and that the ancient wisdom and knowledge, the prayers and meditation, all that, it just lies within. The temple is within our hearts. So that is my moment of enlightenment for today, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.